Live from Henneken Stadium in Flushing, New York, CSI Sportsnet welcomes you into East Coast Conference baseball coverage, streaming exclusively on Flow College. We are getting set to complete a suspended game between the Queens College Knights and the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good afternoon, everybody. We're about 3 minutes away from the afternoon hours. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside Nicholas Pavona. And we are picking this game up in the top of the ninth inning. Michael Flashner stepping in for the Dolphins against Johnny DeZago, right-hander on the mound for Queens to get the action underway. And Flashner looks at a strike, 0-1. This game was tied at 7 when it was suspended due to a lack of daylight. That suspended game, Nick, played almost a month ago now.
Yeah.
Hard to believe. We have not had this situation come up in any of our past seasons covering CSI Dolphins baseball. For me, that's about 10 years. For you now, this is year 5?
I think so.
I think so. I think you started in 21, right?
Yeah. I forgot.
It was in the fall of 21.
Sure, let's go with that.
So
Let's go with
you're
that.
closing in on 5 years of coverage.
Yeah.
The count even at 1 on Flashner. Pitch on the way, and it's a breaking ball taken inside, 2-1.
Yeah, Joe, and this first time these two teams met, I mean, a couple of, lead changes, tie scores about, the entirety of the game. This was originally a 7-inning game when these two teams started, but it's gotten the full 9 now here in this one.
Glad you brought that up, Nick. We are officially in extra innings of this previously suspended game. Meanwhile, Flashner has an even 2-2 count now after that breaking ball finds the inside corner. DeZago comes set. His 2-2 on the way. And Flashner hits it in the air, down the left field line, tailing into foul ground. And the catch is made just outside of fair territory by Tolentino.
Unfortunately, we got to change one graphic on here, Joe. Just fixed it right now, but big first out here in the ninth inning. We did see DeZago pitch on Friday, a couple days ago, when we were back here for the first game of the original 4-game series.
We do have to make a very quick switch on our live stats quickly. Did they change the back end of the website? There we go.
Jason Romance at the plate for CSI here. With one swing of the bat, he could certainly give CSI back the lead.
And Romance takes a strike on the outside corner. Yeah, Nick, if the teams were on the incorrect sides in our live stats, that was going to bother me until this game was over. We just switched those.
We do want to note that, yes, it does on our scoreboard here, at least on our graphic, it does have Queens as the top team, which would be the road team most of the time, CSI as the home team. Might look a little weird, but
I don't think it's that big of a deal until you bring up the break board. Then I think it becomes a bit more jarring.
Okay.
But we're not using that break board, so I think we're okay.
Okay.
That breaking ball off the outside corner. It's now 2-1 on Romance. It's so odd to say that Romance is 2 for 3 with 2 walks and 2 RBIs in this game.
We just started
a game that we did not start out on the call for. It was a Queens home game that began back on March 20th, and Romance, again, a bit frustrated with that called strike.
Exact same location, feel almost, where on that outside corner, but Romance has not been happy with the location of those 2 strikes, and now it's an even count.
Look at that back foot, Nick. He is in the box by millimeters as Romance chases a breaking ball out of the zone for strike 3.
And it's frustrating for him because that one was where you had a swing on the outside only because of the last 2 pitches being called strikes. And a breaking ball from DeZago right there got him to punch out. And quickly 2 gone here in this top of the ninth inning.
Tommy Bresmer will be the batter now. First plate appearance of the game for Bresmer. And he takes a called strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think we've been told that immediately after this game, the original start of the last game of the 4-game series will happen immediately after this one.
Immediately after, okay. There's a swing and a miss by Bresmer at a breaking ball, 0-2. At-bats have been limited for Bresmer this season. He came on in right field before the game was suspended. And the 0-2 breaking ball misses high, 1-2.
We should also note, Joe, of course, yesterday these two teams met in the original 4-game series. CSI took Game 1 in another high-scoring affair, but Game 2 was also another high-scoring affair. Technically, Game 1 wasn't, but Game 2 was.
And Bresmer chased another breaking ball. The tag came up a bit short, and the putout is complete over at first base on the throw from behind the plate by McKelvey. The Dolphins go down 1-2-3 in the top half of the ninth. Queens will have a chance to walk it off when we come back, all tied at 7. And we are back from Henneken Stadium for the bottom half of the ninth inning, all tied at 7. The Dolphins went down 1-2-3 in the first half inning of this resumed game, suspended back on March 20th. The Knights now have a chance to walk it off. And would you say, Nick, that it's fair to describe it as evening up the weekend series? Or splitting the original two games? Splitting the original?
Yeah, splitting the original.
All right, so the Knights going for a split of a series that began nearly 1 month ago. First pitch of the home ninth inning, bounced foul at the plate for Queens, Henry Tolentino. And looking at the lineup card, Nick, I probably couldn't tell you who is coming up next without looking at the on-deck circle, but it will be Thomas McKelvey due up behind Tolentino.
Yeah, the box score is very interesting.
That is a jam-packed box score, Nick. Count quickly, 0-2 on Tolentino. The 0-2 pitch, low and away. For the second time this weekend, Mikey First getting some work on the bump. He had an abbreviated start in the opener.
Yeah, initially I thought, it was a high pitch count that he had early in that game, but some misses on the outside. I thought maybe for a second, maybe he was nursing an injury or something, but doesn't look to be the case. It's a good sign to see him back out here and pitching in a very unusual type of atmosphere with the game being tied. And for the Knights, one swing can win them the game.
Yeah, I think that's the difference in dynamic, the potential for a walk-off when you come out here in what is effectively a scoreless resumed game. And Queens will have the leadoff batter on and perhaps a bit more than that, but Tolentino was forced to hold up at first. A good diving attempt over at shortstop by Bartek came up just a bit short. The ball hit off his glove and rolled into left field as Tolentino is on with the leadoff single.
I'd be curious, Joe, how aggressive do the Knights get maybe here at this point with the winning run on first base?
I've said it in the limited extra inning games we've called, but I find it to be such an advantage to be the home team in extra innings. I think that's really where the advantage kicks in. First, we'll check on Tolentino, and he just got back.
Just beat it. Fanatics that showed
I
up
thought
in
they might have
attendance.
had him, Nick. That was close. Both of our cameras are behind the backstop today, not our traditional pitcher-batter camera that we've had in the games here at Queens. Rain is forecasted for the next several hours. It was raining lightly as we set up. Got very windy, but the rainfall has paused for now at least. McKelvey with a bunt up the first base line, and it is a foul ball. And McKelvey stopped running halfway up the line.
Yeah, his first base coach was giving him a little bit about that. So
Dolphins got very lucky there, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to make it out from here, but let's see. What do you think?
It's tough with the fencing, but
Yeah, very tough.
yeah,
Very tough.
it had to
I
look
think-
up very close.
I think it's also tough to make that call from behind the runner. But when you have one umpire on the infield, that's the position you're in.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty much 50-50 on that play.
Yeah.
It looked like the hand got there at the exact same time the tag got there.
If they called him out, I wouldn't have been shocked. 0-1 the count on McKelvey. Showing bunt again, and I have a feeling we're going to see several more of the pickoff attempts
Yeah,
during this
certainly.
at-bat.
Tolentino, keep in mind, does not have a stolen base on the season.
I think if you're McKelvey, you just have to get this bunt down.
Trying to push it down the first baseline, too, if possible.
Christian Aguilar on deck. The bunt headed up the first base line, and again it rolls foul.
Yeah, he's got it down the first base line. That was the right decision because the Dolphins playing it down the third base line, but both have rolled foul, and now he's down to count 0-2, so he'll have to swing away here.
Well, if you're Mikey First, you are one big pitch away from a massive first out, keeping that winning run over at first base. Nothing in two the count on McKelvey. Medium-sized lead at first for Tolentino, and they will check on him again. It's hard to believe, Nick. We have seen two pitches in this at-bat.
I know.
Will we get the 0-2 here? Yes, we will. And it is fouled back. Now, we were told before the game, no pitch clock today.
Right.
So you'd have to think that in a situation like this, that really helps the Dolphins out. They do not count disengagements, however. You do have to get the ball out. And without the pitch clock, you can afford to take your time, and First will throw over again. We saw before that last pitch, I think he nodded his head 4 or 5 times. Another 0-2, fouled straight back. Well, I'll tell you, Nick. Are they keeping the pitch clock on the field?
I believe so.
I think they are. So there is a pitch clock.
Yeah,
Okay.
just internally for the ups.
And that is ripped. Fair ball down the line. This could end the ball game. Tolentino headed for third, and he will be held up. That is a good throw from the left field corner to prolong this game. As Riley had to race deep into the corner and scoop that one up. He got it in, but it's a double off the bat of Thomas McKelvey, And now the winning run is 90 feet away for Queens.
And McElwee was originally bunting on the at-bat just to move the runner into second base, but he gets to second base himself with a ripping double down the left field line. And now Aguilar coming up to the plate. All he needs to do is get the ball into the outfield, and that will end this ball game.
Timeout has been called, and it looks like Chris Reardon's going to have a word with his base runners and the man at the plate. Aguilar, thus far in this game, have to find him on the box score. Does have one plate appearance, 0 for 1. And if he hits a hard ground ball or a fly ball, this game could very well be over. Mike Morrow now emerging from the Dolphins dugout. And he's going to have a word with Mikey first and his infield. Now, with the abrupt start to this broadcast and lack of a pregame show, you and I didn't get a chance to talk conference standings, Nick, but we took a look earlier in the day, and these two teams got some help. D'Youville has dropped to 9-13 now through 22 conference games. I believe they went 0 for 4 against Malloy. So the Dolphins and the Knights are within 3 games in the win column. The Dolphins, I should say, 3 games in the win column, and they did indeed lose 4 to Malloy. So the Dolphins now 3 games back of D'Youville in the win column, just 1 in the loss column. And Queens trailing D'Youville by 4 wins. They play the Saints 4 more times. They are 2 games back of D'Youville in the loss column. So the door has opened for both of these teams. And if you're the Dolphins having no games left against the Saints, you really need to find a way to get out of this inning. It will be a steep hill to climb without at least one more win, and this ball game is over, Nick. Though that's not as deep as I thought. Vera needs a strong throw. It is headed to the plate, and it is not in time.
It skipped off of the rubber, I think, on the mound. And I think that cost the Dolphins right there.
But I don't think it would have mattered, Nick. As the Knights walk it off in just one added inning of play following the suspended game back on March 20th, Queens has taken back-to-back completed games from the Dolphins, winning Game 2 yesterday and winning the completion of the suspended game here today. As we mentioned before, we expect to get started very quickly. Nick, you and I will stay right here. We'll talk a bit more about what that win means for the Knights and where each of these two teams stand in terms of the ECC standings. With the win, the Dolphins, or I should say with the win, the Dolphins are dropped to 6-15. On the other side, Queens picks up a win.
They're also 6-15.
They are now 6-15 as well. So these two teams are tied.
And effectively, this last game now of this series effectively will decide who's going to be the number 5 seed in the ECC at the end of the day.
Well, if you look at the season series, the Dolphins still have a chance to win it. If they win this game, they've gone 4-2 against Queens this year. And I think if you're the Dolphins, it's a win you have to have. You need the tiebreaker over the Knights. You have to have the tiebreaker. And if you're Queens and you win this game, then it would come down to strength of conference victory record against each opponent in descending order. So you look at Malloy first, and then you'd work your way down. And who knows how it's going to shake out beyond Malloy. It looks like Malloy is going to take the number 1 seed. They have 9 games in the win column over Stack right now. It would be really tough for the Spartans to make that up. I'm not sure they can.
I don't think they can.
We have to see how many games are left for each team. How many games count? 30?
I believe so.
30. So you play 30 conference games that count, and then 2 additional games that do not count against the conference opponent. The Dolphins face the Mercy University Mavericks in those 2 games already.
Malloy has 8 games left on the season in conference play-wise.
Okay, so I would assume that every game remaining on the schedule for each team will count. I don't know that for a fact, but we'd have to go and look at each team's schedule. And even then, there's no indication on the schedule as to which games count and which games don't.
And
we kind of just find out after.
Right, and for Stack, they have right now 11 games left. They have 2 games today against Mercy, and then the remaining 9 games left of their conference season.
Yeah, that loss stings if you were the Dolphins, and it breathes life into the playoff push for Queens. They are still very much alive. As I mentioned, they have those 4 games against D'Youville that the Dolphins do not. However, if CSI finishes strong, the Saints and the Knights could beat up on each other a bit and maybe open the door for the Dolphins down the stretch of the season. But, Nick, I think if you're CSI, more so than Queens at this point, you're in must-win territory entering the final game of this series.
Yeah, and you look at what happened yesterday for these teams, Joe. First off, you go into the game one matchup where the Dolphins had a very nice lead going into the late innings. They go to the bullpen. Dolphins almost blowing what was a 1.5-1 lead for them going into the eighth inning. They were up 5-4 going into the ninth. They got some insurance runs. Were able to hold on 7-4. But then in game two of that doubleheader, I mentioned it earlier, a lot of runs were scored, and you and I weren't on the broadcast for that one, but we might as well felt like it in person for that. 21-11, the final Queens winning game two, a 12-run fifth inning, the big difference maker of that matchup. CSI was up 2 going into the inning. They lose that game, and that's a big one for Queens because effectively, you know, a loss in that game might have put them on near the brink of elimination potentially, just because of how many games are left in the season for them. But still, as you mentioned, they have those matches with the Saints coming up. But again, now, as you mentioned, CSI probably needs to win because not much time's left. You don't have the tiebreaker with the Saints at the end of the season. So you've got to pick up wins here and there in these next couple of series. And for CSI, this one comes down to now which pitchers are we going to see today, because we've already seen Jack Keogh pitch the last 2 days out of the bullpen. We've seen a couple good starts. The last couple, we saw Ryan Palm yesterday make a great strong start. I'd be curious to see if I would think Alex Martinez will probably start this game here today. And then they'll probably need a good outing from him here to try to at least preserve some of those arms in the bullpen.
Well, I talked about during the first game of the series on Friday the resilience of the Dolphins and how they bounced back. They trailed, I believe, by 6. It was 7-1. It seems like ages ago now, Nick, because we've covered 5 games between the Dolphins and the Knights across both baseball and softball. Lineups, meanwhile, are being exchanged ahead of the start of our scheduled 9-inning game. So we're probably looking at a start time for this game of about 12:30 at the absolute latest. But I mentioned the resilience of the Dolphins in that first game. The Knights had a very similar comeback in the second game yesterday, and you have to think that's propelled them forward both through the completion of the suspended game, and now they have all of the momentum on their side entering the final game of this season series. I think if Queens wins it, Nick, the road into the playoffs for the Dolphins might be a hill that's just too steep to climb.
Yeah, and obviously we don't know the percentages of it in terms of where their playoff percentage would be, but it would be a very tough hill to climb for CSI if they were to fall in this final game of this series. And going into the series, we mentioned it. This was a series that you felt like CSI would love to get, 3, hopefully maybe all 4 games if possible. And right now they're at 2 with a chance of the third one in this final game. But a loss could make it really tough, as you mentioned, too, and it could help Queens stay alive as well.
Yeah, I think if you're the Dolphins and you lose this game, you'd fall to 6-16. That would put you 3 games back of Deauville, effectively 4, as the Saints own the tiebreaker, and you have 8 games left. To make up 4 games in 8 games is very, very difficult. So you look at Queens and Staten Island, both will have 8 conference games remaining at the conclusion of play today. That will hold true for the entire conference, as both Mercy and Stack are sitting at 20 games each. They play each other today as well. So if you're the Dolphins, all you can do is go out there and try and bounce back, Nick. And we do have the lineups. Those are coming shortly. Once they're input in our live stats, we will pass those along. But I think you're right, Nick. I think it's reasonable to expect Alex Martinez to start this game. We didn't see him on Friday. I don't believe he pitched yesterday as well. So you confirm that. Thank you very much. So I think, given what we've seen this year, it's very likely he gets the start. But as I said, Nick, they are putting in the starting lineups for our stats software right now. Mike Morrow conversing with the umpires ahead of this game. So we should be just moments away from getting started here at Henneken Stadium. And they've sent us the lineups via text. Very good. And those are the softball lineups from yesterday, not the text message I was looking for. So we'll get the baseball lineups in a minute.
That was the sidearm debacle that we had yesterday, unfortunately.
I was about to throw us to break, Nick, and I think we'll continue with that. We'll step aside for about a minute, and when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups for the Dolphins and Knights, our scheduled 9-inning game just moments away from first pitch. Live from Hennecken Stadium in Flushing, New York, CSI Sportsnet welcomes you back into East Coast Conference baseball coverage, streaming exclusively on Flow College. In our scheduled 9-inning matchup, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the Queens College Knights. Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, my name is Joe Foreman alongside Nicholas Pavona. And Nick, for those just joining us, which I would presume are few as we got started at our scheduled first pitch, 12 p.m. with a game that was suspended back on March 20th. That game was suspended in extra innings. We picked it up in the top of the ninth, tied at 7. It did not take long to complete that game. The Dolphins went down 1-2-3 in the top half, and the Knights put 3 straight on base in the bottom half, winning that game by a final score of 8-7. A sacrifice fly did end it, so 2 on base. Sacrifice fly brings the game to a close as the Knights took just 3 batters to walk off with what is a big win for them. They will send Johnny DeZago back out to the mound for this game, a 9-inning game as scheduled. The Dolphins, however, will start Alex Martinez after Mikey First pitched in the suspended game's completion just moments ago.
And DeZago, we mentioned game 1, he came out of relief in that game for the Knights and pitched in that first game of this series. And we just saw him pitches in that, the resuming of that game that was postponed from earlier on in the season. So effectively, it's his second time we've seen him this week, but technically it's 3 because of what we just saw before. But we'll see how it goes for him. We mentioned before we went to break, Alex Martinez will get the mound for the Dolphins here today. And what you and I already have described is it feels like a must-win for the CSI in this matchup, based off of the fact of what they have left in the regular season and the amount of wins they would have to pick up in the remaining time that they have left would be really, really tough for this team.
I think you're in must-win territory, Nick. Mathematically, that is not the case, so we're not trying to frame it that way. But I think when you look at what's left on the schedule, if you need to make up more than 3 games on a team you're chasing in just 8, especially with the 20-2 in-conference Malloy Lions still on your schedule, that is a tall, tall task. So I think if you win this game, you're in a fine position, not a good position, but you are very much alive entering the final 8 games of your conference schedule if you win this one. If you don't, there's a very real chance you might need to win out. So we'll see what the Dolphins are able to do. And as for the Knights, I mentioned it more than once already, Nick. You have 4 games left against the closest team to you in the standings in Deauville. If you win this game, you are right there on the doorstep of that final playoff spot in the ECC. So there's plenty on the line for the Knights as well. I just don't think they have quite the level of desperation the Dolphins might at this point in the season. First pitch of the game on the way from Alex Martinez, in for a called strike to Tommy Pasqua. He leads off for Queens. We'll get you the full Knights lineup following this next pitch. The 0-1 from Martinez. Taken low. The lineup for Queens: Pasqua, Bunagias, Mallon, Velarde, McKelwey, Angeli, Aguilar, Waiting, Piazza, and on the mound, DeZago. That one fouled back by Pasqua. The count 1-2. In the field for the Dolphins, first to third on the infield, Romance, Flashner, Bardick, and Weigel. Left to right in the outfield, Waterman, Vera, and Kehoe. Behind the plate, Ryan Ortega, and of course on the mound, Alex Martinez. The 1-2 pitch from the Dolphin right-hander is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Pasqua is down on strikes to open the ball game.
Good start of the inning right there for Martinez. You mentioned the breaking ball right there, fooling Pasqua at the plate, getting the first out. Bringing it up, Bunagias.
Peter Bunagias at the plate, a left-handed batter, the first lefty Martinez will face. How about the break on that pitch, Nick? I couldn't tell if that was...
Felt like it at least.
Well, it was a breaking ball for sure, but the way it had that run away from the lefty, it almost looked like a sinker.
Yeah.
Or a really nasty circle change. I mean, that pitch had a lot of movement. We're not often right behind the plate like this, and That looked like the same pitch, Nick.
Yeah, it might be a sinker.
It could be. It could be. And if it is, that is a lot of movement on a sinking fastball. You don't really see them from this perspective as a broadcaster often, as that's taken for a strike. That looked more like a four-seamer right there.
Well, you go back to a breaking ball here. You got the first out on the strikeout with the breaking ball. We do it again.
Now, there is a pitch that has that steep break and a bit of lateral movement to it as well. You know what pitch I'm thinking of?
Tell you in a second.
That's taken outside. The Splinker.
I thought
The
I was
Paul
best.
Skeen Splinker.
I
Pat knew.
I almost said slur, but I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, well, when that pitch breaks away from the lefty from a right-hander, you won't get that out of the slurve. The slurve is effectively a retired idea. It's the sweeper now, I think. Now, is that a rebranding, or does the pitch actually move differently?
No, I think a slurve is still thrown, but I think it's like more of like sidearm in a way, towards like it will go from like one batter spot to the next. It's almost like
I would say the slurve has a steeper downward break than a sweeper, as that's flied out into shallow left center. Vera lost his hat and finds the baseball. As it is a windy day, it is a chilly day. Not going to be an easy time for the fielders on a ball hit in the air. And if you take a look at the flag in center field, Nick, the wind is blowing directly towards center field. Could be a big day for the power swingers.
I'd be curious, softball field, that might be a prime target for some of these hitters. It's been a prime target in the games that we've covered.
Sure has.
The last couple months.
Sure has. Vincent Mallon at the plate now. 2 outs and the base is empty. Now, on a day like this, it has to be tough for a pitcher, but do you think it's tougher for a hitter?
In terms of?
The cold.
I would say it's probably tougher on the pitcher.
Okay. Because it's not often we have weather like this in mid to late April. We've had plenty of games like this in March. We've even had some February softball where it's been a bit chilly, but we don't often have weather like this in April.
Yeah. Considering that a few days ago it was very, very warm.
It was very nice here on Friday.
Yes.
It was nice yesterday as well. A bit cooler, but still nice, and not so nice today, as that's fouled straight back. Count 1-2 now on Mallon.
Mother Nature must have watched WrestleMania. That's why it's like this.
Well, Nick, we name-dropped WrestleMania a couple of times yesterday, and I won't dwell on it, but I'll frame it this way following this next pitch. Grounder foul. Bleacher Report gave the show a D+.
Very generous.
That is exactly what I was about to say. Yeah. Generous.
I had the exact same thought when Lou told me earlier in the day, and then he told you, and we had the exact same.
To be fair, there was one very good match.
Yeah.
So I think D+, I'll allow it. Maybe a D instead of an F.
Sure.
In lieu of an F. The 1-2. Breaking ball just off the outside corner, 2-2.
At least the next one.
That is true. The Knicks did win. I do plan to go to the game tomorrow.
Nice.
But the price has to be right. A 2-2 pitch on the way from Martinez. Popped up. Hit pretty well out to right center. And I thought he got under it, Nick. That is the win for you.
That was more than a pop-up.
Yeah, I thought he popped it up. That ball did carry a long way, Nick. And we can't assume on those fly balls, as Kehoe had to go a long way into the gap to make that catch and end the inning. The Knights go down in order in the top half of the first. Keep in mind as well, the Dolphins are back to being the home team for our originally scheduled 9-inning game. They come to bat with no score when we return. And we are back for the home first inning from Henneken Stadium. No score between the Dolphins and the Knights. CSI coming to bat for the first time, and I think the PA is a bit louder than yesterday.
Very.
Is there a second speaker, or is the microphone just that much louder? Okay, Lou says it was not like that last inning.
Okay.
We had Robo Joe on PA yesterday.
Nope. 2 days ago.
2 days ago? You could have let it slide.
Yeah, but if I made a mistake like that,
I'd like to forget yesterday happened as Vera lays down the bunt. And the throw to first is in time, 1 away. But it was a good day for CSI softball yesterday. In terms of WrestleMania, I'd like to forget it happened. Sunday's a new day. Let's hope so.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the Knicks to backtrack, at least.
Yeah, I can't say at least
away.
the Knicks won.
Yeah.
But that's the last mention of WrestleMania for me. Hopefully we have good things to say on Tuesday. Michael Flashner to the plate now.
Big day on Tuesday as well.
Of course, that's the next time we convene for a broadcast. That's taken high by Flashner, 1-0.
Want to make their way out to Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. Still got it.
Still got
Still got it.
The 1-0. Flashner showing bunt, looks at strike. As we mentioned before, Johnny DeZago back on the mound for Queens.
Good job by you, by the way. We've had baseball, then softball.
Yeah, I have not flubbed it yet. That's true.
So I thought right there was going to be the moment.
Oh, where I said circle?
Yeah.
Have I ever said circle for baseball, though? I don't think I have.
I don't think so.
I've definitely said mound for softball. Yeah.
But to do that 3 straight days of 1-1 and then to back to the original, it's tough.
I've called both in the same day before.
That's true.
I think the most games I've called in one day is 5. That pitch taken low by Flashner, 2-2. I did visit our arena football client last night. You and I covered games for another network. Visited in person. It was, I think, 40-0 at halftime, and then I left. The 2-2 is taken low.
You said, all right, I see where this game's going.
I said, I am not needed here. Normally, I would call that game. They usually play at 6 p.m. They moved it up to 4, and you and I, of course, had the call for CSI softball. So I gave my spot to another company employee and came to show some support. Yeah, I couldn't have gotten out of there fast enough, though. There was a very interesting halftime guest appearance as that's bounced to first base. And the underhand toss is just in time as the covering DeZago beat Flashner to the bag. But the CSI dance team made an appearance at halftime. They performed. First they performed, and then they engaged in a heated game of musical chairs. And they were going hard to win.
Hey, listen. Sometimes you have to with musical chairs.
Each member of the team wanted it. They wanted it badly enough that they pulled the chair out from under another one of their teammates and tried to sit on it themselves. Didn't quite work. It was a heated matchup for about a minute or two there.
I remember one of my favorite memories, when you go to weddings or parties as a kid, they would usually like to play with musical chairs. And I, of course, had to make my way, indulge myself in playing. And I don't know, Joe, I just felt like I was the best.
Is it a game of skill? Is it a game of luck? Jason Romance at the plate takes a breaking ball strike, 0-2.
I'd say skill.
Yeah,
you gotta know. Would. You gotta know when you think the music's about to stop, and then you have to, pace yourself around the chair.
Is it acceptable to hover over the chair?
No, I don't like that. That's different.
You seem like you've thought about this.
I've seen it a lot.
We need you to be the judge.
I'll be
Musical chairs.
I'll tell you right now, my children will not be hovering the chair.
Okay.
They will not be doing that whatsoever. Got to teach them the right way.
That's right. The next generation will learn properly from Nicholas Bavona, musical chairs expert. 1-2 the count on Romance, and he hits one sharply toward the middle, and it is by the diving shortstop and into center field. Good effort there by Angeli. He just could not get a glove on it. And even if he had, I'm not sure Romance is going to be thrown out.
No, yeah, I don't think so on that one, Joe. You know, he hit that one perfectly right up the middle and through, pass for a base hit. And Dolphins keep the inning going right there with that 2-out base hit. And Roberts had himself a very nice week here in Queens.
And speaking of players who have had a good time here at Hennigan Stadium, Jack Kehoe will come to the plate. Officially will be credited with his home run once that box score is uploaded from the first game.
That's right.
He had a home run. And here he has a ground ball to second, backhanded, and flipped over to Angeli to retire the side. The Dolphins strand one following a 2-out single by Jason Romance, and we are through one in Flushing with no score. And we are back for the top half of the second inning. Queens will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate. Leading things off, Michael Velarde. He will step in against Alex Martinez, who threw a scoreless first inning. And there's a line drive toward the gap in right center field. Cut off nicely by Kehoe. And Velarde will take the turn and stop at first with a leadoff single.
Well, Joe, we went over the scouting report on Friday about Velarde. He's a two-way player for this Knights team. He's a very strong pitcher. The Dolphins were able to get past on Friday, but he's also a very capable hitter. He's hitting over 300 on this. He's hitting over 320, I believe, as well. Having a very, very strong year for this Queens team, and he gets a leadoff single here in the second.
Well, though Martinez had a 1-2-3 first inning, Knights made him throw a few pitches there. Started the inning with 16, as that's taken low and away. That hit the first of the game for Queens. Romance with the first hit for the Dolphins in the bottom half of the first. Thomas McKelwey, who was asked to bunt in the ninth inning of the suspended game that was completed, ended up reaching on a base hit, and there's another base hit for McKelwey, pending the play at second, and the ball is off the glove of Bardick. That one looped just over Flashner. Bardick racing over to cover was there. The throw appeared to be on time, but they could not record the out at second.
And I would tend to think, Joe, with Angelino about the plate, they might bunt here with Aguilar on deck.
We'll see. The Dolphins certainly think so. The corners are in.
First pitch to Angelino coming here from Martinez. And he does show bunt. And it's low for a ball, 1-0 the count. Unfortunately, the allergens, the dirt, it's all kicking in right now for Joe.
Yeah, I have to say, Nick, I do miss being behind the backstop at a turf field
Yeah, we had
where
a
the
little bit of
allergens
dirt.
aren't a factor. And the 1-0 pitch misses low and away. Angeli did not show bunt on that pitch.
See if he does it here on 2-0. Martinez really needing a strike here. Doesn't want to load the bases.
2-0. Misses inside, ball 3, and very quickly things are escalating into dangerous territory for Martinez and the Dolphins.
In danger of loading the bases after allowing the first 2 runners to get on via base hit.
3-0. Not close, ball 4. This could be a big moment in this game, Nick. It's very early, and we know what the run totals have looked like in the games you and I have covered together, but an extra base hit here could make it a 3-run game.
Aguilar, of course, was the hero of Game 1. Or technically Game 1, if you want to call it that.
The hero of the completed suspended game.
Yeah.
I think we should call it the blackout game because
Blackout game.
it was canceled or suspended due to a lack of light.
Right. A sacrifice fly to center. But you're right, Joe. We saw it on Friday. Mikey first got into trouble early in that one, the second inning. They had to take him out. And we'll see what happens here. Martinez trying to escape this trouble, but he's got bases loaded, nobody out.
And it's now 2-0 on Aguilar. You think take signs on here?
Yeah. Has thrown 6 in a row. He hasn't thrown a strike yet, so I think you have to wait until you see something.
You might not get a better pitch than this, but I'm inclined to agree with you, Nick. And that is in for a strike. Well, now you lock in if you're Aguilar, and if you get something you like, turn it loose. Big pitch coming here on 2-1. Bases loaded, nobody out for Queens here in the second. And there's a good breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, I felt like it fooled him on that one, Joe.
He was fooled.
Looks like he was looking for a fastball.
Yep.
But went right to the breaking ball. Aguilar does have a home run on the season.
Martinez 1 strike away from a big punch out. A 2-2 coming. And Aguilar just held up.
Yeah, thought about going on that second straight breaking ball on the outside corner, but held up, and a huge pitch here now, full count.
Nowhere to put him. The count is full. And the Knights hoping to cash in for the first run of this ball game. 3-2. Low and away, ball 4. And that will force home the game's first run.
They're allowing 2 straight hits to start the inning. It's now 2 straight walks allowed by Martinez after that clean first inning. It's now a 1-0 lead for the Knights, and still nobody out here in the second.
And we saw this when we covered Martinez pitching against the Saints in this stadium. He was cruising along early in that game. I believe he'd allowed just a run. And then once the big inning began to develop, he just couldn't find his way out of it.
If you remember in that game, that was when CSI had the commanding 10-0 or 10-1 lead, whatever it was at that point. Had to wait a long time in the dugout, and immediately came out and gave up a couple runs.
The long inning seemed to affect him, but when the big inning begins to take shape, you have to try and find a way out of it, especially early in the ball game. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Connor Waiting. Waiting certainly a power threat. And he takes low. Well, it's 2-1 again. And
Dolphin dugout was wondering where that last one missed.
Yeah, I have to say, Nick, I thought they were going to get that call. Another big 2-1 coming. And that is hit sharply through the middle for a base hit. That will bring home 1, and it will bring home 2 as the throw is cut off. It's short. 2 runs in to score on a 2 RBI single by Connor Waiting, and the Queens lead extends to 3. It's now 3-0 Knights.
It's still nobody out in the inning, and this is danger territory for the Dolphins in this game, Joe. We've seen them already come back from a big deficit already this weekend, but down 3, we already talked about the importance of what this game could be for the Dolphins, and they really would love to see Martinez get some outs here. But if not, how early do you think do they maybe try to think about going to the bullpen?
I think it depends on what pitching you have left. I think that's what determines it. If you don't have enough arms to get you through 8 innings, you have to let them ride. And we've seen it when the Dolphins are trying to preserve pitching. They'll let their starter go deeper into the game regardless of the score. But we said it before, Nick, in a must-win game, you're in a really impossible position. As that pitch misses 1 ball and 1 strike, the count on Nick Piazza. A look towards second by Martinez. The 1-1 is a breaking ball that Piazza took a massive cut at. He swings and misses. It's 1-2.
Yeah, he was out in front on that one for sure, Joe. He was looking maybe for another fastball, but that one was a nice breaking ball on the inner half, and it's 1-2 now.
Martinez looking for the first out here in the second inning. And there's a good stop by Ortega. He effortlessly glided across the dirt there, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did.
Won't be easy to do that if the dirt becomes damp with some rainfall later.
Right.
Hasn't rained yet during this game, from what I can tell. And there's a chopper toward the left side. It's going to be a tough play for Bardick. His throw is not in time, and the bases are loaded once again. Still nobody out here in the second.
Yeah, tough play in the hole right there for Bardick, trying to make a strong throw to first base because they had no play over a third or second. Bases still remain loaded with still nobody out in the inning.
Well, you're at the point now, Nick, where I think if Martinez gives up another hit and you have pitching, you start to think about it. And I think we'll find out by the end of this inning if he doesn't record an out or two quickly. At the plate here, Tommy Pasqua, leadoff hitter for the Knights. He's 0 for 1. And I think something else that's striking about how this inning is played out, as Pasqua chops it foul, is that Martinez breezed through the first inning.
Right. He's had a couple of a couple of contacted hits in this inning, and he's also walked a couple of batters as well.
He's ahead here, 0-2 on Pasqua. And that misses outside. Count now 1-2 on the Knights' second baseman. There's a grounder to third, and it gets through Weigel and into left field. That will bring home 2 more. In to score Aguilar and Waiting. And that will likely be scored an error if I had to guess, Nick.
Yeah, it's tough because it took a bad bounce, I felt like, on that play.
Yeah, they gave it a hit.
Yeah, I think that was just a bad bounce that Weigel was right there.
I think he's got to knock that one down, Nick. He tried to backhand it. I think you have to get in front of that ball, but it did take a bad hop at the end, so that's fair enough. Keep in mind, Nick, I am a pitcher.
That's true.
Peter Bunigius, the batter now, ahead 1-0. What do you think, Pat? Hit or error? 50-50. He gave it a hit? Okay. Pat has moved from pitch clock to scoreboard today.
Back to his old roots.
Stephanie on stats, Lou on PA, Joe Foreman on the call alongside Nicholas Bavona. 5-0 our score here in the second inning. Queens on top of Staten Island. But, Nick, if we've learned anything from this series, it's don't count either of these teams out, as that's hit deep to right center. That ball just keeps carrying and carrying and carrying. It's gone, and it's a 3-run homer for Peter Bunigius.
And, Joe, the wind certainly played a factor in
It
that
sure
one.
did, Nick. Look at the flag in center.
Flag blowing out into right center field, and that one going all the way onto that track field, it looked like, out in right center field. And it's now an 8-0 lead for the Knights here in the second.
The good news, Nick, if you're the Dolphins, is that the ball is going to carry today. And we know the Dolphins have the ability to hit the ball deep into the outfield. And I was about to say, prior to that home run, you can't count either of these teams out, regardless of the deficit. That being said, coming off a tough loss in the completed game earlier, Dolphins now find themselves in a bigger hole than they found themselves in on Friday. At the plate now, Vincent Mallon. He's ahead 1-0. And the Knights will bat around in this inning. Mallon is the 9th man to the plate. I know we discussed this already, Nick. Do you bat around once the 10th man comes to the plate?
Yeah.
That's taken inside. 3-0.
Yeah, I would say once the original batter that started the inning. So that would be the scenario.
Okay. Yep. Michael Velarde on deck. He led off the inning, and there is still nobody out. There's a called strike, 3-1. Well, we touched on it before, Nick. The inning that really blew up on the Dolphins when they faced Deauville here earlier in the season looked a lot like this. It was coming off a clean inning. There was the long layoff, but Martinez just couldn't find his way out of it. He walks Mallon to bring up Velarde. And, Nick, as we suspected, Dolphins are going to leave him out there, and I think they have no choice.
They do have action going up in the bullpen.
Yeah.
But
I think at the very least, you have to try and get through this inning. And then maybe he finds it in the third. I think if you get through this inning and put it to bed, maybe your team picks up a couple of runs for you or more. We've seen a lot of crooked numbers in this series.
Well, we saw Velarde, who was at the plate. He pitched a couple innings on Friday, allowed, I believe, 9 runs in that game. But that was the scenario where Queens played it out, where they let him pitch.
There's a swing and a miss by Velarde, 0-2. And it was a gutsy effort from him on the mound, Nick. I'm glad you brought that up. We thought he might be headed for the dugout a bit earlier in that game, and he was able to give them some good length. It was a game the Dolphins did win, however, as that's fouled away. But the way that the conference series are structured and with the extra conference games these teams are playing over the course of the year, sometimes you have to push starters or even relievers a bit longer than you'd like as a head coach. Count still 0-2 on Velarde. And they will check on the runner Mallon over at first. Another 0-2, runner going. And that was foul tipped into the glove of Ryan Ortega. Second base was stolen by Mallon. Thomas McKelwey will be the batter. McKelwey having a nice day thus far. Had a double to move the winning run to third in the completed game and is 1 for 1 here in our scheduled 9-inning game. Anytime as a hitter you have 2 at-bats in the first 2 innings, things are generally going to be going pretty well.
Yeah, I think we saw that. I believe it was Friday. We saw that same scenario too for the Knights.
Yeah. The second inning was the big inning for them in that game.
I believe in the first 3 innings they already had 3 at bats. But a credit to the Dolphin pitching the rest of the way in that game. They prevented a lot more at bats from happening for the Knights. Did a good, strong, good job for the duration of the next couple of innings.
Count 1 ball and 1 strike on the Knights catcher, McKelvey. Martinez looks towards second. The runner is going. Ortega will not make a throw. And the Dolphins just not paying Mallon enough attention. They did take a look at him.
And Mallon is one of the best runners on this team, Joe. He is now 13 for 13 with those 2 stolen bases.
That's assuming he didn't have a steal in the suspended game.
That's also true.
Those stats become official once that's uploaded. Did they go up after the game was over?
I'd have to double check.
I don't know if Steph's been taking care of that. Let's see. Count now 2-2.
Well, it would be early. Yeah, I was going to say it would be early.
Yeah, we have to go back, yeah. No, not yet. 2-2 is a breaking ball fouled away. If you're McKelvey here, at the very least, you'd like to put the ball in play. The Dolphins are conceding a run. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Well, that will keep Mallon over at third and give Martinez a chance to get out of this inning without further damage.
Yeah, you got to find a way to get out of the inning, at least prevent another run from scoring at this point, Joe. Still early in the game. I think that's something to note, too. We saw on Friday, CSI came back down from 6 to win that game, so we know this team can hit and come back from a deficit like this.
What I always say when covering baseball, depending on whether it's a 9 or a 7-inning game, is that gets by Ortega, and the run will score from third. But what I always say, Nick, is they play 9 for a reason. This game is scheduled for 9, and they play 9 for a reason. So, as I've said, you can't count either team out if they fall behind. We've seen that more than once already in this series. But I think you're at a point now where, regardless of the score, you're in a tough situation with Martinez out there in terms of his pitch count. He's up over 60 pitches already. Behind 1-0 here, Joshua Angeli. And he takes inside 2-0. Ortega didn't think so. The 2-0. Low and away, ball 3. Christian Aguilar would be next. Angeli drew one of the walks issued by Martinez. He's walked 3. Behind him, Aguilar drew another. And there's a strike on the outer half. 3-1. Up and away, ball 4. The inning continues as Christian Aguilar will get a second at bat. I think you're at the point now, Nick, where you have to get this third out from Martinez and then evaluate from there. But I'm inclined to say if he gets the third out of the second, he has to come out and start the third. At the very least, give him one more opportunity as that's taken low. But with another walk here, I'm not sure you keep him in the game. That would be 5. Yeah,
66 pitches right now in this game he's thrown.
And that's part of the equation too, Nick, as I mentioned already. He's in a tough spot with pitch count. So if you're not going to push him well beyond 100, you may only get 2 more innings anyway. I think the question then becomes, how valuable would 2 more innings be? Count even, 1 ball and 1 strike on Aguilar. There's a big swing and a miss, 1-2. Martinez 1 strike away from the 3rd out here in the 2nd. 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. This next pitch will be number 70 for the Dolphins right-hander. Keep in mind as well, Nick, we talked about it in terms of the game against D'Youville that Martinez started. It has been a long layoff for DeZago in that other dugout. There's a chopper toward the hole, and it's by Bardick and into left field for a base hit. Aguilar reaches for the 2nd time with his first base hit of the game. It's a 2-out single to put 2 on for Connor Waiting.
And we saw on Friday too, Joe, how many times that the Knights capitalized with 2 outs on Friday. Most of their runs came with 2 outs in that game, and they're now looking to capitalize once again with 2 gone, 2 on, 2 outs, and a chance to bring home some more runs right here for Waiting.
Waiting had a base hit in his first at-bat, drove in a couple of runs, and he takes low for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0. Runners both going, and the throw goes to second and sails into center field.
And I'm not sure why Ortega on that one threw it to second, Joe.
He hesitated, which took the opportunity away, and it's a double steal for Queens, followed by an error, and that is going to be all for Alex Martinez. Mike Morrow emerging from the Dolphins dugout, and it looks like CSI is going to make a pitching change. The signal goes down to the bullpen, and we head to break. Our score, Queens 10 and Staten Island nothing. 2 outs here in the 2nd inning. Nicholas Marangelli on for the Dolphins out of their bullpen as they call for timeout on the field. 10-0 our score. Queens over CSI. Here in the top half of the second inning, it's a 2-0 count that Marangelli inherits with 2 outs. And his first pitch misses low for ball 3. Alex Martinez is responsible for the runner over at third base. And then the book is closed on the Dolphins starter. 3-0 coming. And that catches the outside corner, 3-1. Connor waiting at the plate for Queens, and the rare circumstance of having to face 2 different pitchers in a single at-bat. Not often you see that. 3-1 is off the facing of the Queens dugout. Ortega tracks it down, and holding at third was the runner, Aguilar. That will bring up Nick Piazza. The question is, who is officially credited with the walk?
Never mind.
Okay. Oh, no. We're not going there again.
That's why I said don't.
I know. The question is, who gets credited with that walk? I can tell you in the live stats, it was Marangelli.
Yeah, it's not an easy spot because he inherited that 2-0 count, but
Pat is positive. He is positive. Now, if he inherited a 3-ball count, is that the same? Okay.
The batter gets hurt swinging. When he comes in, it goes to the previous batter, the hurt batter. So if the new guy strikes out, it goes to the previous batter.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It goes to the previous pitcher.
Oh, okay. So Pat is saying the walk is credited to the starter.
Yeah.
All right. In the live stats, it went to Marangelli.
Pretty sure. I'm almost
I think he's right. That's what I thought too, Nick. That's
there a
why I
way to
asked.
input that?
Is there a way to do that? I'm not sure. That one in the dirt for ball 3, and very quickly it's a 3-0 count on Piazza. I think he's right. I think it goes to the original pitcher who began the at-bat.
It's the same thing with a hurt batter. Like if a batter comes out, he gets the strikeout. This guy strikes out.
3-0 on Piazza, unlikely to be swinging here. He might take 2, Nick. That's low and away, ball 4. That will bring up Tommy Pasqua. Pasqua 1 for 2, getting his 3rd at-bat in 2 innings. First pitch, a breaking ball in for a strike, 0-1.
I mentioned earlier, too, Joe, that this night's team, of course, had a 12-run inning just yesterday. They've got 10 right now, and a chance for more still with bases loaded.
And the 0-1 was foul tipped. Count 0-2. For Marangelli, this is the first time we've covered one of his outings here on Sportsnet. It is his 5th outing of the season. It's hard to believe he avoided us 4 times. But he sure did. Though, the 29th. Did we cover the Dolphins and Spartans on the 29th? I know I covered them on the 31st. I don't know if the 29th was the game we covered previously. I think it was the 27th because there was that big gap. That series stretched over 4 or 5 days. So we have not covered any of his outings yet. But we'll get you his numbers very quickly. He comes in with a 2.25 ERA and a 1.5 whip across 4 appearances, all in relief. He's thrown 4 innings, allowed 3 hits and 2 runs, 1 earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 1. Opposing batters hitting just .214 against him. Count now even at 2 on Pasqua. And the breaking ball in the dirt runs it full. Merry-go-round will be in motion. Full count, 2 outs, bases loaded with Knights. here in the top half of the second inning. Pitch on the way. Low and outside, ball 4. Peter Bunigius will be the batter.
Feels like a lifetime ago he had a home run in this inning.
Nick, I have to be honest with you. Off the bat, I could not believe that ball left.
It didn't look like it was originally when he hit it,
Well,
but the wind certainly played a factor, as I mentioned when it happened.
to be fair, I mistook a deep fly ball for a pop-up. I have to say, Nick, when you're directly behind the plate, it is not easy to read the ball in flight.
Right.
You need that perspective of seeing the ball jump off the bat to really know how well it was hit, even if it's a slight angle. Bunigius nearly hit by the 1-0 pitch. It's now 2-0.
Knights are closing in and potentially batting around twice in the inning.
Yeah. Yep, 2 batters away. 2-0. Low and outside, ball 3. The 3-0. Right down the middle for a strike, 3-1. Flared out to shallow left center and down for a hit. That will bring home a pair. The ball got by Vera for a moment. Waterman backing up, gets it into Bartik, but it's a 2-run single off the bat of Peter Bunigius. He now has 5 runs batted in, and Queens extends their lead to 13.
What an inning for Bunigius. 3-run homer, 2-run single, 5 RBIs on the day, and we're not even past the second inning. He's had a strong start to this game. And the Knights are now a batter away from batting around twice.
Vincent Mallon to the plate now. And Mallon takes low, ball 1. Mallon thus far 0 for 1, has reached on a walk. And he takes a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 is a breaking ball outside. Count now 2-1. Wind picking up a bit here in Flushing. It's been quite the wind chill throughout this game as that's taken out of the zone, ball 3. A walk here would reload the bases and, as you said, Nick, allow the Knights to bat around a second time. And they will. Michael Velarde to the plate. He led off this inning, and he is to the plate for the 3rd time. And Velarde takes low, ball 1. The 1-0. In there for strike, 1-1. And the 1-1 ran inside. Velarde fortunate to get out of the way. It's 2-1. Long look in, ahead of the 2-1. And there's a breaking ball, strike 2-2.
I'm trying to even remember what the second out of the inning was at this point.
Yeah, you'll have to. I think it was 2 strikeouts, Nick. I think it was 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
2-2. Low and away. And
there's McElwee.
yeah, I think in terms of minutes, this is the longest inning you and I have ever covered.
Yeah.
Have we been at it an hour yet?
I would tend to think so.
I don't think it's been that long, but it's close.
Couldn't tell you what time the inning started.
Well, we went live as that one's chopped slowly on the infield. Bardick has it, and the throw to first is off the glove of Romance and out of play. Velarde will move up to second. 2-run score on the play, and the lead for Queens expands to 15.
Fortunately, Joe, when it rains, it pours right now for the Dolphins in this inning.
Well, we said it earlier, Nick. There was rain in the forecast. It has not rained during this game. I'm going to take a look right now and see where we're at with the forecast, because given the wind prior to start time, it appears as if a storm was incoming, and rain is definitely on the way.
Yeah.
Rain is expected to start in 1 minute, according to the forecast in New York City. So,
oh boy.
Is there a situation where the rain starts and they pause this game? Because that looks like a very real possibility if the rain gets heavy. And the rain is close, and you can feel it.
I can feel it, but I can also feel like I see it coming in into right center field.
You know, I said the same thing.
But
it seemed like it was raining only down the right field line for a moment, but I don't think we're quite there yet. We weren't sure there would be baseball played today.
Right.
As that's fouled back, the count 2-1.
It was a pretty much wait-and-see game once we arrived at CSI earlier today.
Well, we left believing the suspended game was being picked up at 11 a.m. That's what we were told. So we were here very early. We've already been here, 4 hours? More than that. We got here at like 9:15. So we've been here over 4 hours.
Yeah, a little bit over.
Count even to 2 balls and 2 strikes on McElwee. Runners on second and third for the Knights. There's a swing and a miss. And that will do it for Queens in the second. It's a huge inning for the Knights. They plate 15. Their lead 15-0 over the Dolphins, headed to the home second. And we are back for the bottom half of the second inning from Flushing. The Dolphins in a big hole early. Jaden Waterman to the plate. The Dolphins will send 5, 6, and 7 to bat. And we talked about long layoffs as that is grounded sharply off the glove of the diving first baseman waiting.
And Waterman's going to get a single on that play right there.
Yeah, no doubt. He's in safely as the ball did get away. That one stays in play. And the Dolphins, with one swing, have the leadoff man on here in the second.
28, Ryan Ortega.
Well, Joe, the Dolphins are going to pull this one off. They're going to have to start chipping away now more than ever.
No question about it. But I said it before, Nick. They play 9 for a reason. And you and I have covered, 4 games where 30 or more runs have been scored? By both teams combined, that is.
I believe so.
This game is not over, Nick.
I'll double check real quick.
Though, if I did feel it was over, would I say it? Probably not.
No.
I
So
do not believe
I've
this game
covered
is
2.
over.
You've covered 3.
Okay. I thought it was more than that, honestly.
We've had a couple 20 runs, not 30 runs.
I'm talking about 30 runs between 2 teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Our average going into the game on Friday was 26.5.
Yep.
And Friday, how many did we have?
Friday we
26?
had 25.
25? It's 14-11?
Yep.
Okay. Count 1 and 2 on Ryan Ortega here.
They checked back on Waterman over at first base.
J.J. Hunter, the on-deck batter. But we spoke about the lengthy layoff. Zago is in the dugout for a very long time as Ortega strikes out.
Yeah, he certainly was, Joe.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 19, J.J. Hunter.
Yeah, the microphone is significantly louder than the music. Probably because they have the talk button pressed, but his announcements are definitely louder than my recorded announcements were. First pitch to Hunter, a breaking ball in for a strike, 0-1. And the wind is doing us no favors.
No, it is not.
It's done the hitters some favors, but not us. The 0-1 to Hunter. Another breaking ball in for a strike, 0-2. The 0-2 hit well deep to left field. That one headed toward the wall, and it's off the fence. It takes a good night's bounce, allowing them to get that ball in quickly. But it is a loud double for J.J. Hunter, and the Dolphins now have 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
Something we saw a lot last season, Joe. Hunter with the extra base capability hitting right there, and he gets a nice double out into left, was a couple of inches away from a 2-run homer. And he gives now Vincent Weigel a 2 RBI opportunity with a base hit.
He almost hit it too well, Nick. He was right on that ball and hit a line drive. If that ball had any elevation to it, it was gone. Vincent Weigel to the plate now, takes a strike, 0-1. Weigel surpassed the 20 RBI mark on Friday. 21 runs batted in now for Weigel, and that does not include any runs he drove in during the suspended game. Count even at 1 on the Dolphin third baseman. Brandon Bardick on deck. The 1-1. Hit well to left center. That ball headed a long way. It lands in the deepest part of the ballpark, right at the base of the wall. Waterman is in to score. Hunter is in to score. And it's a 2 RBI double for Vincent Weigel. The Dolphins are on the board. It's 15-2.
Well, Joe, we just said it before. The Dolphins, if there was never a chance, now they got to start chipping away at a very big deficit, and they do it right there. Weigel, who's been red hot at the plate as of late, drills that one into left center field for a 2 RBI double. It makes it now 15-2.
Weigel hit that ball a long way, and Nick, I'm not sure there's another facility that you and I have covered a game in where that doesn't leave. I would love to get the dimensions here at Henneken Stadium. I feel like the right field line is incredibly short. The left field line, I'd say, is a pretty standard left field corner in terms of distance. I would not be surprised if center field was 430. I mean, that is a deep-looking center field. I could be wrong. I think the concrete wall is a bit of an illusion behind the fence. Makes it seem like it could be a bit further, but to me, Nick, that looks far.
Yeah, we said that the last time we were covering the games against Uville.
Though I have to be honest with how far we've seen home runs clear the fence by. Maybe it's not as far as we think out there.
No.
I'll have to ask Matt. Maybe he knows. Brandon Bardick to the plate. And the first pitch he sees is a breaking ball swung on and missed for strike one.
Bardick went opposite field on Friday for a 2-run shot then at that time.
The impressive aspect of that Bardick home run was the opposite field power. As he couldn't hold the swing there, it's 0-2. Two-strike pitch. Chop to the left side. Will be a tough play. Piazza throws offline and off the glove of Waiting. Weigel moves up to third, and the Dolphins now have runners on the corners with one out.
Yeah, not an easy play for Piazza over at the hot corner right there, Joe. Slow dribbler towards the bag. Had to play it on just, to make a jump throw on that play, but was not able to get the throw over to first base. Bardick reaches first with a single, and now it's back to the top of the Dolphin lineup.
Jamel Vera will be the batter here, and the Dolphins now with a runner on third, a runner also on first base for Vera. Of course, the Knights would concede a run for an out, so Vera at a bare minimum needs to put it in play, and
that won't do it.
Pops it up. It's on the infield and caught over at short. Easy play there for Angeli, and Vera is retired on one pitch.
Now batting the second baseman, number 3, Michael Flashner.
That will bring up Michael Flashner. Flashner 0 for 1 thus far. And now the Dolphins will likely need a hit to get the run in. And that is sliced foul. And that ball, I believe, bounced back into play down the line, or did it take some leaves down?
No, I think it took some leaves down.
I thought I saw that ball bounce back to the field of play. That's a sturdy tree. The 0-1 to Flashner. In the dirt, 1-1. One and one. Chopped foul, and it's now 1-2. The 1-2 is up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two. Breaking ball, and Flashner was able to hold the swing. That runs the count full and will allow Bardick to get a head start over at first base. An extra base hit here would almost certainly score 2. Bardick running, And Flashner fouls that one away. Another 3-2. And that is a breaking ball in there for a called strike 3. And it appears the rain has begun to fall here in Flushing as the Dolphins settle for just 2 runs in the bottom half of the second. We head to the third. Queens up big over Staten Island. Third inning about to get started from Henneken Stadium. Knights back to the plate with a big lead. Angeli Aguilar waiting due up for Queens. And the rain has begun to fall and is expected to fall for at least another hour, perhaps more. So
I didn't see it until you said it, but yeah, now I see it.
Heading into break, it started, and it's not supposed to get any better. And you can hear it now.
Yeah,
so
I can hear it now.
We will hope that the wind allows us to stay where we are. And if the wind does pick up, we will have to go offline. We are outdoors, of course. So we will see how hard the rain gets. But Lou is flexing the fact that he brought an umbrella. Look at you, Lou.
Show off.
So prepared.
I am regretting not bringing a hat and gloves to this game.
The gloves would have been a smart move, I think.
Yeah.
I wish I had brought mine. So Joshua Angeli at the plate has a 1-2 count. New pitcher for the Dolphins, Anthony Salmonese. We'll get you his numbers in just a moment. And that pitch misses high, 2-2. For Salmonese on the year, he comes in having appeared in 5 games, all in relief. He has a record of 1-0 with an 8.59 ERA and a whip of 2.05. In 7 1/3, he's allowed 13 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Opposing batters hitting .406 against him in 32 plate appearances. And he now has a full count on Angeli. Well, Nick, this is one of those days where you find out which fans are the real ones.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
I think there's a very real chance it's about to get quite crowded behind us under the covering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Count still full on Angeli. And that's hit in the air, carrying toward right center field. Vera ranging to his left, and he will make the catch. That will bring up Christian Aguilar. Going back to the weather for just a moment. The forecast that we had this morning showed rain from about noon until maybe 3 or 4 o'clock. It seems like that timeline has backed up a bit with the rain coming down now. I'd say it began at what, 1:40, a little bit before that?
No, a little bit before that, yeah.
Yeah. So about
now.
5 minutes ago. Count now 1-1 on Aguilar, who's 1 for 1 at the plate with an RBI and a walk.
Yeah, I believe the Yankee game's already been, at least it is delayed at the moment.
Yeah, I got, as a ticket plan holder, I got a text message regarding the delay of the Yankee game. And that one
bounce
got through Ortega into the backstop, 2-1.
Okay, nice look at waiting over there, retrieving that ball.
Well, we've seen that from the Knights in the on-deck circle. They've been consistently heading out there and grabbing balls at the backstop. Sure, both teams would do that if called upon. Count now 2-2 on Aguilar. Two and two. In there for strike 3 called. Aguilar down looking. And there are 2 gone in the inning.
Nice punch out for Salmonis right there on the inside corner. Getting Aguilar to look on that one. Again, the second out here of the 3rd inning.
Connor waiting at the plate now. Base is empty, 2 away. And that pitch is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Yo, 1. In for a strike, 0-2. Salmonis 1 strike away from a very quick 1-2-3 inning. Long look in ahead of the 0-2, and he misses low and away. One, 2, bounces in, 2-2. Two and 2. And it's now full. Payoff pitch upcoming. And Salmonis lost him. It's a 2-out walk, sending Waiting down to first base. And that will bring up Nick Piazza. Piazza 1 for 1. Has drawn a walk as well. That's hit to Bartik. He goes the short way to second, and that will do it for the Knights in the 3rd. Queens draws a 2-out walk, but nothing more for the Knights as we head to the bottom half of inning number 3. Dolphins to the plate after this break. Jason Romance will lead off for the Dolphins in the home third inning. Dolphins struck for 2 in the bottom half of the second, looking to continue to claw their way back. First pitch on the way. In for a strike, 0-1. Romance 1 for 1. And he takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1. Another breaking ball. Misses low and in. 2-1. And if you're DeZago, you have the luxury here of being able to be aggressive and throw strikes. Dolphins, to their credit, have been pretty patient. 2-1. This is high. Romance in the driver's seat here, ahead 3-1. Dolphins hoping to pick up where they left off in the last inning. And Romance takes a called strike on the corner, 3-2.
He was not happy about that one.
See if DeZago goes back to that outside corner. That's been a spot where he's been able to get the call. 3-2. And he went right back there. And Romance goes down looking.
Now batting the right fielder, number 38, Jack Kehoe.
That will bring up Jack Kehoe as DeZago picks up his 3rd strikeout. Kehoe 0 for 1 thus far. Bats with the bases empty and 1 out here in the 3rd. And Kehoe held the swing and took low, ball 1. The 1-0. Hit well out toward right center, but they had him played perfectly. The outfielder shifted toward right field, and waiting there to make the easy grab in right center was Mallon. That will bring up Jaden Waterman.
That's why it pays to read the scouting report and look at those defensive alignments for certain players. Right place, right time for the second out of the inning.
It's normal that you'll see at least a slight outfield shift against both lefties and righties, but when, of course, there are far fewer left-handed bats than right-handed bats, sometimes you'll get a shift like that one that is very pronounced. 2 outs, base is empty. Jaden Waterman behind 0-2 with that swing. He did get a piece, but nonetheless, it is strike 2. Waterman 1 for 1. Had a base hit his last time. And he takes a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Well, that's a pitch the Dolphins will have to adjust and begin to swing at as 2 Dolphins go down on that same location. We head to the 4th. Big lead for Queens. And we are back for the 4th inning, where the frigid temperatures have forced us to remove our balls and strikes for now. Nick's hands, I can attest, are as red as our audio wires.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, you're
Icicles.
good. Yeah, you're good. You should have said something sooner.
It just started kicking in now.
Yeah.
I was getting through the last couple of innings, but yeah, it's getting worse.
Yeah, no need for that. I'll keep our viewers informed on the count as that misses for ball 1. The count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Tommy Pasqua, the night's leadoff hitter. Pasqua is 1 for 2 with 3 runs batted in. He's also drawn a walk. That one fouled away. The count now 1-2. Anthony Salmonese back on the mound for the Dolphins after a successful inning of relief in the 3rd. He entered the inning with 19 pitches. This next one will be number 23. It is still raining, but not quite as heavily as it was about 10 or 15 minutes ago. And you have to wonder, I don't think this would be the case, Nick, but you have to wonder, you know, how aggressive they might be in putting a stop to this game after it becomes official. I don't know if that's a thought, as that's hit to straightaway center and caught by Jamel Vera. 1 away in the inning. That was a hard hit ball, tough luck out for Pasqua. Peter Bunigius, the batter here.
And a 5 RBI second inning.
I think I can say without a doubt that is the biggest inning we've ever covered. I think that goes without saying.
Yeah, of course, we had earlier the year, Duville. Name immediately escapes me. I'll look it up in a second. But we had, of course, was a double-digit run RBI game he had, or 9 RBIs he had in that game.
Oh, I was talking about the run production.
No, I know what you were talking about.
Now, if you turn the clock back a bit further and go to the Division III era, I would guess, I don't know this for a fact, but I would guess that I've covered a bigger inning in softball. The Dolphins in the Division III days put together a lot of very big innings on the softball diamond offensively. So I would venture to guess that one of those innings at least exceeded 15 runs.
Looking back, Garrett Wilson had 10 RBIs in that game.
Well, Bunigius halfway there, and it's early. 2-2. Hit well to center. Vera backing up, and he's got it. Though it came out of his glove after the fact there.
I think it was one of those where you flip it up and...
Yeah, he had it. He definitely had it, but I did see the ball fall onto the warning track.
He, of course, was involved in that unusual play out in left center on Friday where home run was brought back in and
Nick,
it said the Knights got an inside the park homer anyway.
Watching that play live, I did not think that ball was over the fence. He definitely got a glove on it, but I didn't think he was that high up the wall. That is a tall fence in center field.
It is.
I thought he definitely had it, and then when hitting the fence, he lost it. It was almost a great play. Vincent Mallon, the batter here, has 0-1 count. Make it 0-2. The 0-2, grounded foul. That's hit sharply towards center. Vera looking up, running out of room, and it's out of here. Vincent Mallon with a 2-out solo home run. And Queens is back on the board here in the 4th inning. They lead at 16-2.
And how about that, Joe? That's his 10th home run of the season right there. Mallon has been all over the plate and as well on the base paths this season for this Knights team. And that one, again, off the bat, did look like it maybe was going to go over the wall, but see that flag? It's just this time going to left field, but that one certainly was impacted by the wind and out into right center field.
The wind definitely helped that one. I'm not sure it needed it, Nick, but I was only able to judge that ball by the sound of the bat. I immediately lost it in the cloudy sky, and you could tell by Vera's reaction how well it was hit. He was racing back toward the fence, and you could hear it off the bat as well. That one fouled away. The count quickly 0-2 on Michael Velarde. That home run, the first hit given up by Salmonese since coming into the game.
He'd allowed some loud contact on the first 2 plate appearances of this inning, but both line drive outs out into the outfield.
Count now 1-2 after that last pitch got to the backstop. And that's always something to keep an eye on, whether or not the line is good for a pitcher. You have to look at the swings teams are getting against him. I think that's typically the best indication of what kind of day he's having. And there's a rocket shot right at Bartik. He snags it, and that will do it for the Knights in the 4th. 1 run home for Queens. They extend their lead as the Dolphins come to bat in the bottom half of the 4th. Home fourth inning getting underway with Ryan Ortega stepping into the box. Ortega 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Dolphins will send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate as Ortega rips one foul down the left field line.
If I'm not mistaken, Ortega also had a home run on Friday. I'm trying to retract my steps on Friday, but I believe he had one of those home runs that helped CSI get back
Sure did.
from that deficit they had against Queens. At that point, it was 10-6.
Heel 1. Outside 1-1. Rain coming down just a bit harder now. You could hear it on the tent. Hope this thing's waterproof. As Ortega hits one well to left center, but he got under it a bit. And that is caught in the left center field gap by Mallon for the first out.
Now batting the designated hitter.
Don't know how I did that.
What'd you do?
I went to switch the camera, and I accidentally hit flash instead of cut.
That's okay.
Happens.
Numb hands will do that to you sometimes.
Yeah, it certainly will.
J.J. Hunter at the plate. Hunter narrowly missed a home run in his first at-bat. Took an 0-2 pitch and put a dent in the fence out in left center field. The 1-0. Hit the other way, but foul. The 1-1. And Hunter does well to lay off the breaking ball, 2-1. Two one, ripped to third and caught on the fly. 2 away in the inning as Hunter makes solid contact again. This time it goes for an out, and Vincent Weigel will come to bat with the bases empty.
Yeah, you can't do much right there, Joe. That was just a well-hit ball, but they call it the hot corner for a reason.
Weigel had a 2 RBI hit in his last at-bat, continues to produce runs when given the opportunity. And it seems like as of late, Nick, when he's come up with men on base, it's been cash.
Cash.
Cash money, though. A lot of establishments don't accept cash anymore.
Yeah.
And Weigel hits one deep to left center field. That one's headed toward the wall, but it dies right at the fence. And wouldn't you know it, Nick? The wind is now blowing left to right.
I was waiting for you to make a cash call on that if it was a home run.
I was waiting for you to interject and say that
No.
ball's gone, but
No.
you didn't do it. You didn't do it.
We're not assuming anymore.
We're through 4 from Hennecken Stadium. Big lead for the Knights. And we are back from Henneken Stadium where the rain has really begun to fall. And Nick and I are trying to reposition our cameras underneath the tent fully. I would suspect, Nick, that you and I will be forced to break down one of our two cameras in between innings.
Yeah.
It is also raining into our power strip, which is not good, so we'll back that up a bit. But I think the breakdown of equipment will begin in between innings as the rain really begins to fall hard. I think when you look back about 10 or 15 minutes ago and it was raining lightly, there was no thought of would this game potentially be stopped after 5, but I think with the rain coming down the way it is, that very much becomes a discussion now. Very quickly, the Dolphins do record the first out of the inning. Thomas McKelvey retired. It's 0-1 on Joshua Angeli, and he takes a strike, 0-2. The Knights have had some hard-hit balls off of Anthony Salmonese, but otherwise, the home run is his lone blemish. The only hit he's allowed. He has walked 1 as the breaking ball misses high, 1-2. One and two pitch. Low and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two. Way outside.
Yeah, you can even see it in the dirt,
Yeah.
Joe. It's starting to get really bad.
When you start to see some bad misses, then you start to think, is the weather a problem? Is the rain the issue? Because we have seen some pitches missed throughout the game, but not many quite like that one. And there's another bad one. So you have to expect that the wet ball and the wet weather is a bit of a problem, as we had some extra commentary coming in.
I was trying to make sure.
Yeah, I thought I was muted.
It's as if like that red button when you want to
Push the red
push
button.
the red button.
Now, do you know where that is from?
I should know. I've heard it so
Well,
many times.
I know where I know it from, is that's fouled back. 0-1 on Christian Aguilar, but that is actually from the Men in Black ride at Universal Studios, Florida.
Okay.
That's where I know it from. Yeah, it's really coming down, Nick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mentioned to you, when you have Major League Baseball games, if you get through 5 innings, sometimes we'll postpone it and call it there. That could be the case here.
Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Aguilar. There's a slow roller to the right side. Dolphins should have a play at first, and they do. Over to second goes Angeli, and there are 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, it looked like he got jammed on that one on the inner half. 2 gone now in this 5th inning. This rain just continues to pour down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the cameras are dry under here, though.
Yeah, they're good now.
Okay.
And if you look, Joe, there was just a second. There was a lot of drops that just came down from where the camera just was. So
Very good, very good.
It's a good thing
we aborted just in time.
yeah, you can see it now. It's starting to come.
It's starting to weigh on the tent, which is
Yep.
concerning always.
Yep.
Connor waiting at the plate takes on the inside corner for a strike.
The one time I assumed was a good time. Probably the only good time to assume.
Yeah, I think the covering is beginning to lose containment on the water pooling up above us. You can see the big puddles. Are they falling into the camera's view, though? I don't think so. Not yet, anyway.
No.
Yeah, I think power strips being so close to the edge of the table becomes a bit problematic.
Yep.
0-2 the count on Waiting, and he takes low and outside. Waiting is 1 for 1. He's walked twice and driven in a couple of runs. One, two. Hit well, left center, and Vera will watch it skip over him.
Wow, what a
That
bounce.
took a wicked bounce. It rolls all the way to the wall, and that will allow Waiting to get all the way to third standing with an RBI triple.
That would have been at least an RBI single, maybe a double if you wanted to stretch it, but that was a wicked bounce out into left center field. You don't really see that very often. It's 17-2 Knights.
That is a tough, tough hop for any fielder. But
Yeah.
when you're a center fielder trying to cut off a ball in the gap and hold a batter to a single, to have a hop like that over your glove, that is very unlucky.
We would see at CSI at the old baseball field. You sometimes would see some weird hops there, but that was just
Nick,
wild.
I would describe that outfield as treacherous. I've walked that outfield, and
Yeah, you don't know what's coming.
yeah, I would not want to contend with that on a game-by-game basis for, upwards of 20 games a season. Meanwhile, the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on Nick Piazza. And Nick, we're closing in on that point. We may have to pull the plug here.
Yeah, it's starting to.
We'll get through the 5th inning and see what they decide for the remainder of this game. But the rain is coming down, and our Chargers are now covered.
Yeah, you can see the left side of the table, Joe.
Yeah, the left side of the table is soaked. The Chargers are getting covered with water, so.
Even the laptop's starting to get a little bit misty.
Yeah, I think we're closing in on the end, Nick. Meanwhile, it's 3-1 on Piazza. Yeah, I think, Nick, if the rain doesn't calm down, we probably pull it after 5. If the game continues, we'll see what they decide. Nick and I communicating with our friends over at Flow here regarding the potential conclusion as the Knights give away the out on the base paths there to get us to the bottom of the 5th. So, Nick, I think with a play like that, we're probably looking at 3 more outs. So we will stay right here and take you through the bottom of the 5th. Wow. And I think they just said this is it following these next 3 outs. So this will become an official game following 3 more outs. And then I think this game is going to be called with the heavy rainfall. So, Nick, you and I will stay right here. We head to break for 30 seconds. We'll be right back with the home 5th. Brandon Bardick will lead off the home fifth inning. And, Nick, if I can properly read lips, I think they said this is it as the Dolphins headed back to the dugout. So I think we are 3 outs away from the conclusion of this game. It will become official after 5 as Bardick hits one to left center and drops it in for a base hit.
Yeah, this was something that, I brought up as a hypothetical back in the second inning while we had a pitching change where that could be a factor depending on what the rain was. And right now, the Dolphins will try to keep the game prolonged, but they have a runner on first to get things started with Bardick's base hit.
Now, this is very obscure. Obviously, this stat wouldn't be kept. But I wonder how many players have earned a win in 2 games in the same doubleheader after starting on the mound in both games. Technically, DeZago did not start the completed game, but he did start on the mound when the game was resumed.
Right.
And then he has come in and pitched all of the second game and is in line to win.
Yeah, that's an interesting stat. I don't know. Are you doing your rain dance now?
Perhaps. Just trying to get our PA announcer's attention.
Joe, assuming that I did that on Friday to get my car cleaned.
I watched you do it. My car.
I just watched you do it.
My car needs a cleaning. I bought it in black, and now it's yellow.
Oh, it's back to
And
black again.
Yellow is not good for me because I have to take off my headset
Last
repeatedly.
sneezing.
Yep. Count now 1-2 on Jamel Vera, the Dolphins' leadoff hitter.
Right on cue, too. Joe having to take his headset off. It's been a little bit since you had to, unfortunately. Count 1-2 on Vera.
If I'm sneezing through this rainfall,
As Vera hits that one left center, this one could be trouble, and it falls into the gap. That's going to be extra bases for Vera there. That might bring home Bardick all the way from first base. Rounding third and coming around to score is Bardick. Vera goes to third base with an RBI triple, and it's now 17-3.
well, right on time for an RBI triple, Nick. In rainfall like this, to still be suffering from allergies is something, because on the rainy days, it's usually much better.
Wind just not getting any better.
No, it is rather chilly. I don't know if I would prefer a day where I struggle with really bad allergies or a day where we struggle with really bad cold.
No offense to you, I would rather deal with the allergies.
Well, if you had the allergies,
Yeah, if I had, I still think I'd rather deal with that.
they
Just
diagnosed
too
me with
cold.
a tree pollen allergy as a kid.
This is a way to feel fly roll.
Hey, we have our own set of signals here as a crew, so Lou knows what the one to the sky means.
He might be pointing them later tonight potentially.
Yeah,
That would be the only thing I say about that.
well, I hope so. You
You
know,
at least hope.
I mean, it's a 14-run game. Our audience that's followed us for a long time knows you and I are big wrestling fans, and I am a big fan of both main eventers tonight.
You are?
Yeah, I think they're both great professional wrestlers. I love both CM Punk and Roman Reigns, but you know me.
Yeah.
I'm a Roman Reigns guy. We share the same first name.
Yeah, your own car represents that.
Well, the interior of my vehicle is Bloodline themed, not by intent. It just so happened that
And
I had to get the red interior.
it will have some dolphin neon lights as well.
I do have dolphin-colored interior lighting for game day wins. We can make it any day, though. It's okay. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to just be wins. Michael Flashner at the plate here, 1-1 count. And that's chopped short. The throw to first is low, and it gets
one.
away.
And how much did the rain play a factor on that one?
And the Dolphins bring home another run. Flashner reaches at 17-4.
Well, the Dolphins want to keep that law of averages going for us in terms of us calling their games. We're now at 21.
That is very true. Now, did we average in the game the other day? I don't think we did.
I don't think we finished that.
How many games did we have is the question. I think
I think 6,
I
was
think
it?
we averaged in, I don't remember. I think you're right. I think it was 6. So 26.5 times
Ooh.
6.
Ooh, that was the worst part. The worst
I'm
of it
trying
all.
to 159, if my math is
I
correct.
think so, yeah.
26.5 times 6, 159.
Sure.
Sure. So then we had how many runs the other day?
You're the mathematician. You should know this.
159. So the other day we had 25 runs. So we're
Yes.
at 184
Yes.
divided by 7. And there's our average. So,
Sure.
yeah. There's our average.
Yeah.
184 divided by 7 is
I'm trying my best to get the calculator.
about 20. But it's about 26, Lou?
I did it wrong anyway.
Okay.
I did it
about
wrong.
tw- it's
I did it the inverted way for percentage.
It's about 26. It's about
Oops.
26.
My baseball math got to me. I was looking for percentages instead of looking the regular way.
Jason Romance at the plate here goes down on strikes, and the Dolphins have one away in the inning.
Now batting the right fielder, number 38, Jack Kehoe.
Yeah, Jack Kehoe, the batter. Nick, I think I saw the Dolphins packing up some bullpen equipment down the line, so I think it's going to be a fairly quick exit if this game
This would be
remains.
a very wrong time for you to assume.
Well, it looked like it.
I know.
And I was reading lips. You know, I'm reasoning based upon what I've
saying
seen.
you're a lip reader?
Not exactly.
I know Joe Calabrese wants to read birth charts.
Wow.
What?
He just caught a stray. He's not even here to defend himself.
What? There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, but he still caught a stray.
Is that a stray, though?
I mean, there's no birthday he's more invested in than mine.
Right. It's been brought up on the broadcast before.
It has.
So there's no stray there.
Fair enough.
Maybe it's a plug.
Yeah. Well. Jack Kehoe bounces the 0-2 pitch to second.
Look out.
And the throw sails high at first base.
This has been a wacky inning, Joe.
Well, we've seen some very unusual plays
Left fielder, number
in this
1,
half inning.
Jaden Warman.
And immediately, as soon as I said wacky, I immediately thought of Gordon Ramsay.
One of our favorite TV personalities here at the commentary desk. I think that we need to be some guest attendees of Hell's Kitchen. Do they still make Hell's Kitchen? Still?
Yeah.
They do?
It just, unfortunately, it's just not as good as it used to be.
I'm 2 or 3 seasons behind. I think we need to do a viewing.
I probably longer than that. It just isn't good as it used to be.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, I feel like that's the case with a lot of TV
I think
shows.
the problem is, Nick, I don't watch television.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I watched a lot more television. And one day, I'm probably 10 years old, I stumble across Hell's Kitchen. I'm like, who's this guy yelling at people? And I thought it was the funniest thing.
Who's this blonde-haired Englishman yelling at people and calling them idiot sandwiches?
Some of the insults are really good. You know me, I'm a sucker for a good insult.
Steph, he probably is. Is he? It's possible.
Stephanie's saying he's from Scotland. I don't think so. I don't think he's Scottish.
I don't think he is either.
Google it, Nick. Jaden Waterman at the plate, swings and misses, 2-1.
British.
I thought so.
Scottish. How dare she insult me?
She got Gordon Ramsay confused with Drew McIntyre.
Carolyn, understandable mistake. Surely. Surely.
The count 2-2 on Waterman.
Well, we say Steph's the best, but not that time.
Not that time. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody likes a liar, Steph.
Nobody's perfect except the CFO. There's a swing and a miss by Waterman, and they had the wrong count on the board. It's now full 3-2.
Who's they?
Well,
He.
Pat is claiming that Lou told him the incorrect count.
Oh, he said yeah. He said he had 3-1. Who is lying? 3-2.
Maybe my eyes don't work as Waterman draws the walk, and the Dolphins load the bases.
Now batting the catcher, number 28, Ryan.
Well, you could be worse. You could be me. When you asked who had the right count between me and I think it was Steph that was doing the board, and I said it was me, and I was completely wrong.
Yeah, you know,
I assumed.
you got caught.
Too many rear ends.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to get my rear end off this bench. It is cold.
It's very cold.
Ryan Ortega to the plate. Bases loaded with Dolphins. And Ortega swings and misses nothing in
We've
one.
sat on these now 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
The back is
You know, I need to talk to whoever purchased the bleacher seating for behind the plate at CSI and ask them why there are no backs.
yeah.
Maybe I'll buy us some of the bleacher seats. Maybe I'll put that in the budget next year, the bleacher seats with a little low back support.
Sure.
Seems like a good idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's heat them. Let's heat the benches while we're at it, too.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I'll trade that in for a puffer.
That's hit high in the air. Left side of the infield and caught in shallow left. 2 outs in the inning.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 19, J.J. Hunter.
We suspect the Dolphins are down to their final out here. That has not been officially passed along to us, but
It seems like it's cooled down
the rain
bit.
has eased up just a bit. But reading lips, I thought they said this was it.
At that point, it was coming down pretty hard.
It was raining hard.
He was born in Scotland.
Ah,
So why would that say British chef then?
Fact check, and he was born in Scotland.
so Stephanie has fact-checked and says that Gordon Ramsay
Now-
was born in Scotland.
But what was
But where was he raised?
right?
Want to know the count on Hunter, and he takes inside.
Yeah, he's British. no one can tell me the other anything else.
He definitely sounds British.
I was just listening to how he sounds. It's just the accent is fantastic. I think that's the best part of the
I think
entire
that is part of what
rant.
makes it. That one off the glove of McKelwey. No Dolphin thinking about advancing. Well, you know my favorite Hell's Kitchen moment is when Joseph on Hell's Kitchen
Yes. Well, I think
wasn't happy
Yeah.
with his evaluation there. And
My favorite is the Tiger Woods rant he made with how the scallops were made. He said Tiger Woods could tee off with these.
that was good, too. I think Gordon Ramsay is trained in a martial art, too.
He probably is.
I think he is.
probably is.
So things might not have ended well for Joseph.
Oh no,
There's a called strike, 3-1 on Hunter.
I would not want to go face to face with
No,
Gordon
and,
Ramsay.
You know, I used to read I think I found this out by reading the IMDb facts for Hell's Kitchen. I used to go through those and read them for my favorite shows. The 3-1 to Hunter. Foul tipped. And the Dolphins will put the merry-go-round in motion. 3-2, 2 outs, bottom half of the fifth. The rain has gotten significantly lighter, Nick. Payoff pitch. In there for strike 3 called. And we will see if this game continues or not.
Judging off of how the teams are reacting,
I don't think so. I think it's over. And the game is indeed over.
Yeah,
So they have decided to call this game after 5 with the rainfall coming down. It is a win for the Queens College Knights, 17-4 over the College of Staten Island. These two teams split the 6-game regular season series. And for the Knights, this is a huge win as they look to move a bit closer toward a playoff spot. The Dolphins, who by our estimation, Nick, were very close to must-win territory, may need to be perfect the rest of the way in order to secure a spot in the postseason. They still have 8 conference games remaining, 4 of those against Mercy, 4 more against Malloy. We will travel to each of those locations for a doubleheader. I believe both of those are currently scheduled for a Saturday, but don't quote me on that, Nick. We'll go check our upcoming schedule and outside of Heroes Day coming up on Tuesday at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. It is a light schedule. You and I will be in Dobbs Ferry, or I will anyway.
You will.
I will be in Dobbs Ferry on Friday. So Senior Day is Friday. There is no game on Saturday, April 25th. We then travel to Rockville Center on a Friday as well. Make that Uniondale, but Rockville Center where the Malloy campus is. They play their baseball in Uniondale. We are there to close out baseball's regular season on Friday, May 1st. The Dolphins then play the last game of their season the following day on Saturday, May 2nd. But until Tuesday, this has been Joe Foreman alongside Nicholas Pavona. Our final score here in our regularly scheduled 9-inning game is 17-4. Queens over Staten Island. Queens also wins the completed suspended game by a final score of 8-7. Back on the air Tuesday night on Staten Island. Everyone, thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.